Welcome to The Artist Matters. I'm Alex Rudy, and each week you'll meet incredible artists from all walks of life. Filmmakers, writers, actors, painters, musicians, and so many more, sharing their stories to motivate and inspire the creative in you. Whether you're doing it for fun or looking to make a living, this show will help you on your journey to bring out the artist within and letting the world know that your art matters. Hello, one and all. Welcome once again to The Artist Matters. I'm your host, Alex Rudy, and it's been quite a fun few weeks. We've been on over a month, and I'm so grateful that the show's catching on to some people and the word's getting out there and people are sharing these stories with the artists featured. It's what it's all about. And today we got a real good one. This artist I have known the longest out of all my guests. He is graphic artist, consultant, and friend, Rodini Almonacy. I met him way back in 9th grade in 1984 and met in East Junior High School in Brentwood, New York. And we took art class with Miss Markolo and found a connection through a common link, comic books. We were into the Marvel characters a lot, and we created our own comic book characters who I think teamed up. And it was fun collaborating with him in art class and just getting to know him and seeing his creativity come out. But little did I know his creativity would take him to heights I didn't expect, because he was always driven. He always wanted to take things to the max. He wanted to always outdo anybody. If they did something, he would put a little extra into it. And he's always had this drive, maybe because when his life began, he was dead. That's right. When he entered the world, he was stillborn. I kid you not. And he made it. It's unbelievable. So from there was nowhere to go but up. His mom always told him that he had a special mission in life. It was very encouraging to him and his siblings. She even gave him a Bible quote, which I'm just kind of paraphrasing, but it's everything you do it with all your heart. Don't do it for the glory of man, but do it for the love of God. And it stuck with him. And he decided to pursue a career in the arts because in his West Indian upbringing, it was traditional to pursue a path as a lawyer or a doctor. And he did indeed study nursing, but he always had a passion for the arts. And of course, he did like the comic book art, but later on, he just was inspired to start creating logos on t-shirts for a senior talent show. And then people were interested in that. And they were asking him how he did it. So he started getting some referrals and started making party flyers in the day where cut and paste was literally cutting something out of either a magazine or paper or something and pasting it onto a page and creating a design that way. And so he felt his calling was graphic arts. And he began taking classes. And smart enough, while he was taking classes, his assignments, he actually made them paid gigs. He'd go out and say, hey, do you need a business card made? I can do it. So his assignment became a paid gig. And once he graduated from the school, it was hard for him to find work because there weren't many graphic artist jobs nearby his neighborhood in Brentwood, and he had a family. He didn't want to leave them to go into the city. So he figured, why not start his own business? And created his company, Maximum Grafx. And he went door to door to businesses, club owners, asking if they needed flyers. And his way of advertising was putting his name and logo on the flyer or business card somewhere so people can see it. He grew his business into the Maximum Marketing Media Group and garnered the title of consultant, and also branched out to Maximum Marketing Enterprises. But he also believes in giving back. And one of his ways was creating iloveball.com. It's to help and showcase young basketball players. And he still finds time to spend with his wife and 5 kids. I'm telling you, Rodini is a go-getter. He knows how to hustle. He knows how to find ways to get past obstacles. And it is so inspiring to see this happen to someone I've known for so long. And I'm so grateful that he is today's guest on The Artist Matters. So without further ado, here is my conversation with Rodini Almonacy. All right. Welcome to the show, Rodini.
Hey, Alex. How are you?
All right. How you doing? It's been a while.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I know we started way back in 9th grade, but we'll get into that a little later. Well, let's get into it right now with you. Where did you grow up?
I'm originally I was born in Haiti, moved to Brooklyn. From Brooklyn, did a short stay in Queens, and then moved to Long Island. Been in Long Island since 1980, and I basically grew up in Brentwood, Long Island. That's where I am now, and that's where I've been.
Did you always have a creative spark in you?
Yeah, I would say so. I always dabbled with illustration, drawing, and even in coloring. In coloring, I did everything a little bit different than everybody else. I always put a little extra into it, and that's part of my my creative personality. I always put a little extra in everything I do to try to top everybody else. Or competitive.
Where does that come from?
Not even sure. I just look to. I think it's in me to try to make people happy. So I always felt like if you're not going to do it, if you're not going to go 100%, don't do it at all. I have a saying, and I would say, do it till it can't be done anymore.
I like that. Was it just drawing and illustrating the creative side of you? Did you dabble in any other creative arts?
Yeah, fashion. The thing that I've always been messing around with art all through my years, but I never took it seriously because I never thought there was a way to make money in it. I'm West Indian, and if you know the West Indian culture, they always try to tell you be a lawyer, be a doctor, be a nurse, be an accountant. There's a job that you can go anywhere and you can get work doing. So they always try to tell you to take the conventional route to be successful in life, and that's what deterred me from pursuing my artistic career. So I always did it as a hobby, and I never thought of doing it, to make money. And one day, it was in was it junior or senior year? We're doing a talent show, and I created a logo for our team, the crew that was competing in a talent show. And when I did the clothes, the show went really well, and everybody who saw the gear that we had on was like, "Yo, I love this stuff. Where can I get the shirt?" So I did it originally for the people competing in the talent show. It was a group of about 20 of us. We did a montage of songs, like a mix of songs. So I created shirts for the whole team, and when we created the shirts, people wanted them. So I started doing them for other people, they were like, "How much does it cost?" And I'm like, "I don't know, $20." And then people they did really well. I started selling a lot of them, and then I said, "You know what? Let me just try to start my own clothing line." And I started a clothing line by creating little expressions on the T-shirts and putting logos on it, and that's what sparked my my graphic design career.
I'm just going to backpedal a little bit to that momentous moment when our worlds collided in 9th grade. I was going to Catholic school, but it only went up to 8th grade, so my mom said, I can't afford Catholic high school, so I'm going to send you to public school. And then there was Rodini. We had art class with Miss Markelo.
Yeah. You're good. I don't even remember her name.
Yeah. That's one of the few names.
I remember it now that you bring it up, but...
Yeah. I think that was early period, like first or second period we did that.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, we just had the same interest in comics and stuff like that and created our own comic book characters. I think we even tried to do a team up.
Yeah, that was cool.
We were debating about
That's the book that I have. I don't know where it is, but I remember we all worked on it together.
Yes.
You had some characters, I had some characters that we created, and we did some pages.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Yes, it was. So did you think you wanted to stick with that kind of art? When did it transition to the graphic arts?
Well, I did it, like I said, I admired it and I always loved it, but I never thought that I was good enough to be a comic book artist. Well, not to this. I was a big fan of Marvel at that time. Of course, Marvel and DC. I like some DC too, but I was more of a Marvel fan. I was a big X-Men fan.
Mm-hmm.
The Avengers, that was my thing. Spider-Man was one of my favorites. So I was always into comic book, but I didn't feel that I had the skill to do that type of art. But I always liked it, and I always wanted to be around in that realm. So I like I said, I dabbled with it. I never took it seriously though until I got to high school, and then I found my love in text and putting things together.
And you did those logos. That was the beginning of it, right?
Yes, that was the beginning.
So
and then from there it transitioned. What happened was I was also big into entertainment at that time. I wanted to be a rapper. I don't know if you remember Eric Sermon, PMD.
Yeah,
they were at our school.
That's right.
So them and then Craig Mack. It was the golden age of hip hop. So I was into that whole that golden era. I was into that, the hip hop bebop stage. So I kind of went away from the graphic design and I started going into music, and I tried to become an artist. And I was spending a lot of time and money in music studios, making demos and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
did you have a name, a stage name?
Yeah, I did, but I don't really want to say it. It's embarrassing.
we won't reveal that here, folks.
Yeah, but that was it was about a year to 2 years stint where I was going hard with it. And then I realized that the guy one day I had an epiphany. I said, you know who's making all the money? The guy I'm paying for the studio.
Mm.
And then I said, so I'm going to stop giving this guy all my money and I'm going to start doing stuff. I'm going to try to find something where I can make money in the industry, in the music industry, and still be around it. I still want to be part of the industry, but not actually be the artist.
Right.
So that's where I started with. I've like I told you, in my senior year, I did the T-shirts.
Right.
And then from the T-shirts, I transitioned into actual graphics, like doing party flyers. One of my friends was a DJ, so I started doing his party flyers. When he had an event, I would make party flyers where I started in graphic design, where cut and paste was literally cut and paste. So I would type out text, like come up with a design, or I'd draw an illustration, and I would literally cut it out with scissors and paste it on a piece of paper and put the text over it, and it was cool. It was crazy. I think I still have the first fly that I've ever created.
Ooh.
And then from that point, I was like, I need to do something else. And then I started, I was doing the T-shirts. And then the guy who started my professional career was Buddy McGirt. I don't know if you know who he is.
Enlighten our audience.
Buddy McGirt was two-time welterweight champion of New York. Well, he's from New York, but the two-time WBC welterweight champion. And he was a close friend of mine, and he was from Brentwood. In fact, I was really close friends with his now wife, Gina, and she introduced me to him. And then my first job, when I did a T-shirt for him for his boxing, for his thing that he actually wore to his fight, one of his championship fights. And he recognized my talent, and he wanted to help groom me more. And he introduced me to Carl Banks from the New York Giants, who owns a company called G3. And G3, they make leather. They make leather apparel. They make leather jackets. The jackets that you see in the store. The stuff is still in the store.